All right, guys, I'm back on my bullshit. Today we have 8 signs of emotionally immature people. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of these motherfuckers out here right now, and you guys are acting like it's just children when they're like 40, 50-year old. My mom's 60, my dad's 60. Yeah. People can be old and stuck at a 2-year old mindset. So let's get to talking about it, all right? Over here, number one, we have low empathy. They struggle to understand or care about how you feel. This is like a huge red flag for me, and the number one reason why I don't have any friends. Because people like only understand like feelings or empathy as far as they've experienced it, right? So if they've never experienced like something horrible or bad, or maybe they've never been in a breakup, they never lost a parent, or they never been on drugs, or they never been, essayed or whatever, right? They never experienced abuse. Like, I don't know, whatever they haven't experienced, they have no empathy. They have no empathy to anyone who has. Like, they can't comprehend it because their brain doesn't allow them to take themselves out of it and see things from someone else's perspective. Okay. Huge red flag. I don't fuck with y'all when you guys have no empathy. Okay. Self-absorbed. Okay. Now, coming from a fucking Leo, I'm a Leo. All right. This ain't cute. All right. Everything is about them. Your needs are often dismissed, ignored, or invalidated. I know a lot of women like this. And I'm not saying that men are not like that. I'm just specifically talking from my own experience. I know a lot of mothers that are like this, and they do this to their kids. So if you're one of them, watch yourself, because it's always people like that need someone to feel like they need the empathy at some point in their life, and they really need it, right? And they don't get it because the way they treat people. Karma is a real witch, all right? That's my homegirl, though. Emotionally volatile, bro. They have mood swings and react with sudden anger or withdrawal. I used to be like this, okay? And I can talk about this because I literally came from, like I said, my mom... I don't know if I said that yet, but my mom is 60 and she's a little emotionally mature. And my dad, 60 something too, they're very much emotionally immature. And I was not raised by them completely because I went into foster care. But yeah, we started off rough, okay? And this girl, all right, she used to fucking flip. And not even just her, a lot of the women that I experienced in my life growing up, and we'll talk about that later because, a lot of the women that I experienced in my life growing up had a lot of anger that had to do with like a lot of men that fell short. But we'll talk about that later. Anyways, my mom was hella reactive. Like, it was like eggshells. Like, oh no, is she? And there was a point in my life where my kids, my oldest daughter and my middle, where they used to have to worry about, is my mom upset right now? Or if they could, if they could even ask me for something because I was so reactive. It took me a long time to unlearn that fucking behavior. And sometimes, I'm going to tell you, I still get like that, okay? Now, fear of intimacy does not mean that they're afraid to get down and dirty with you, okay? Because we all know that that's not the only form of intimacy, all right? These people will do the whole nasty all up in all your holes, right? But they won't tell you nothing about themselves, all right? They keep deep emotional connections at a distance because they can't handle vulnerability. Now, I'm telling you, all your holes, all right? But they can't tell you what happened to them as a child that made them not like certain things, right? Made them reactive to why, when you change their favorite cartoon channel on Saturday morning, they have a breakdown because, you know what? They never got to watch cartoons when they were a kid. I don't fucking know. I'm going to tell you that they have issues that they can't talk to you about because they're afraid of it, because I'm telling you, they'll give you all the holes, all the pulls, and can't tell you nothing about themselves. It's crazy. Rigid thinking is a huge red flag for me too, along with number one, low empathy, because those two things, I feel like I encounter them like first. That's like one of the first things that you see in someone when you first like start interacting with them, because you have conversations about things and they're just, the way that they think is like, okay, bro. It says they resist open communication and cling to their own narrow views instead of approaching different opinions with curiosity. Now, this goes back to like what I was saying in the first one. They don't have the mental capacity to remove themselves and their own feelings and their own experiences to see someone else's from their perspective, because they've never experienced it in that way. So they don't have even the mental capacity to remove themselves and maybe even imagine like, well, if that was me and this happened to me, I wonder how I would feel. They can't even do that. They can't even try to do that, okay? The walking on eggshells. Did I not just fucking talk about this? That was how. Okay. You have to be calculated around them and can't let your guard down. My poor children, Diana and Danae, if you watch this at any point in your little life, I'm sorry. I was such a fucking asshole when you were kids. I didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. And this is why I think we should talk about it, because I feel like me being honest and saying that I used to be like this, yeah, like it helps other people like get rid of that shame that they carry, that they think that they need to have forever. Bro, I'm not proud of the way I used to be, but I ain't like that anymore. So gaslighting, bro. Now this starts fucking crazy early, because I'll tell you why. They distort reality and make you feel crazy, unseen, or illogical. Now, a lot of like kids start the lying and gaslighting and not being able to be fully in reality because they're afraid of the reaction of other people. You feel me? And now I'm not saying that the gaslighters that fucking do that shit intentionally and they're like no, they fucking know what the fuck they're doing and they don't care about anybody's feelings. I'm talking about as a child, when you learn to like care about how other people are gonna react more than your own feelings, then you start doing stuff like this. Like my daughter Danae, because I told you I used to be horrible. She used to lie a lot because she was afraid she was gonna get in trouble because the way that I was so reactive. And I had to catch that and let her know you're not gonna be in trouble. I had to start telling you you're not gonna be in trouble. You feel me? Because even she was afraid, right? And I would literally see her do things or hear and see it, and she would tell me no, and it was because she didn't care. She didn't care that the facts was right there. She was more afraid of what the repercussions of the truth was gonna be for her. You feel me? So, and that was my fault because I scared her. I'm not saying that any of these gaslighting assholes that do that shit like spitefully and stuff, that's your fault. I'm just saying that we're talking about how they get emotionally immature and how people end up like this, all right? A lot of the times their parents or wherever they've not parents, whoever the fuck raised them, whatever happens, shit that happens to people makes them stuck in the certain age that these things happen to them, and their emotional capacity is lacking because no one's ever given them the tools or the safe space to fucking feel this shame or anger or all these feelings that you fucking feel. You feel me? And then because you never had the safe place to do that, you end up building this self-protection shit, and you do all these things. You do all these things that are not healthy for you or anybody else. All right? I don't know. I'm done, y'all. I gotta get back to my bath.